Hello, my friends. Welcome back to TalkTune English. I'm Jason, and today's episode is all about your morning routine. This lesson is designed to help you think in English, speak naturally, and build confidence when talking about your daily life. We'll start simple, step by step. I'll ask you a question, give you a short natural answer, then a longer answer with more details. After that, I'll pause and give you time to answer out loud. You can repeat after me, copy my rhythm, and create your own version. Don't worry about mistakes. The goal is not perfection, it's communication. Let's begin. Here's the first question. What time do you usually wake up? Short answer. I usually wake up around 7. Longer answer. I usually wake up around 7 in the morning. On weekdays, I get up right after my alarm rings, but on weekends, I sleep a little longer. Let's say that again slowly. I usually wake up around 7 in the morning. On weekdays, I get up right after my alarm rings, but on weekends, I sleep a little longer. Now, it's your turn. What time do you usually wake up? Say it out loud. Take a deep breath, relax, and answer in your own words. You can also talk about how you feel when you wake up. For example, I sometimes feel sleepy, but I try to smile and think of something positive. You can also say what helps you wake up. Maybe you open the window, drink water, or stretch a little. Try again now. What time do you wake up, and what helps you start your day? Good job. Here's the next question. What's the first thing you do after you wake up? Short answer. I drink a glass of water. Longer answer. The first thing I do is drink some water and stretch a little. It helps me feel fresh. Sometimes I check my phone, but I try not to do that too much in the morning. Let's repeat that together. The first thing I do is drink some water and stretch a little. It helps me feel fresh. Sometimes I check my phone, but I try not to do that too much in the morning. Now it's your turn. What's the first thing you do after you wake up? Do you check your phone? Do you wash your face? Do you make coffee? Say your answer out loud. Try adding one more detail. For example, I drink water and then I brush my teeth. Or, I open the window and take a deep breath of fresh air. Say it again, slowly. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel. Let's move to the next question. Do you make your bed in the morning? Short answer. Yes, I do. Longer answer. Yes, I always make my bed right after getting up. It makes my room look tidy and helps me feel ready for the day. Now it's your turn. Do you make your bed in the morning? You can also talk about why you do it or why you don't. For example, I make my bed because it helps me start my day with discipline. Or, I don't always make my bed because I'm usually in a hurry. Great work. Next question. Do you drink coffee or tea in the morning? Short answer. I drink coffee. Longer answer. I usually drink a cup of coffee after breakfast. It helps me wake up and focus on my work. Sometimes, on weekends, I drink tea instead. Let's repeat that slowly. I usually drink a cup of coffee after breakfast. It helps me wake up and focus on my work. Sometimes, on weekends, I drink tea instead. Now it's your turn. What do you drink in the morning? Say it out loud. You can also talk about how it makes you feel. For example, I love the smell of coffee in the morning. It makes me feel calm and ready. Good. Let's keep going. What time do you have breakfast? Short answer. Around 7:30. Longer answer. I usually have breakfast around 7:30. I like to eat something light, maybe eggs and toast, or a bowl of oatmeal with fruit. Sometimes I listen to music or a podcast while I eat. Now it's your turn. What time do you have breakfast? What do you eat? Do you eat alone or with your family? Say it out loud. You can also talk about your favorite breakfast food. Let's make it more detailed. For example, I usually have breakfast at 7:30. I eat eggs and toast with a cup of coffee. Sometimes I listen to TalkTune English while I eat. Very good. Here's one more question. How do you feel in the morning? Short answer. I feel sleepy but happy. Longer answer. I usually feel a bit sleepy in the morning, but once I wash my face and drink some water, I feel more awake and positive. I try to start the day with a smile and some good energy. Let's repeat that. I usually feel a bit sleepy in the morning, but once I wash my face and drink some water, I feel more awake and positive. I try to start the day with a smile and some good energy. Now it's your turn. Describe how you feel when you wake up. Do you feel tired, calm, energetic? Say it out loud. You can also add what helps you feel better in the morning. For example, I feel more awake after a shower. Or, music helps me feel happy in the morning. Take a moment, breathe, and repeat your answer. Let's review everything we talked about today. You learned how to answer questions like, what time do you wake up? What's the first thing you do in the morning? Do you drink coffee or tea? What time do you have breakfast? How do you feel when you wake up? You practiced short and long answers, and you learned to add details about feelings, habits, and small actions that make your morning unique. Now, before we finish, try to speak freely for 30 seconds about your morning. Imagine you are telling a friend about your routine. For example, I usually wake up around 7. I drink some water and make my bed. Then I brush my teeth, take a shower, and eat breakfast at 7:30. I usually drink coffee and listen to music while getting ready. I feel relaxed and ready for the day. Now, it's your turn. Speak out loud, confidently, slowly, and clearly. Remember, don't worry if you make mistakes. The goal is to keep speaking, keep improving, and keep enjoying the process. Now, let's continue. After you wake up and have breakfast, it's time to get ready for the day. Getting ready is a big part of your morning routine, and it shows how you prepare yourself for school, work, or anything you plan to do. So let's talk about it step by step. Here's the first question. How long does it take you to get ready in the morning? Short answer. It takes me about 30 minutes to get ready. Longer answer. It usually takes me around 30 minutes to get ready in the morning. I take a quick shower, brush my teeth, and choose my clothes. If I move fast, I can be ready in 20 minutes. But if I take my time, it's closer to 40. Now it's your turn. How long does it take you to get ready? Try to answer in your own words. Think about everything you do from the moment you finish breakfast until the time you're ready to leave home. Say it slowly and clearly. You can also add details. For example, it takes me about 30 minutes to get ready because I take a shower, brush my teeth, and fix my hair. Or, I usually need more time because I like to listen to music and drink another cup of coffee. Let's move to the next question. What do you usually wear to work or school? Short answer. I wear comfortable clothes. Longer answer. I usually wear comfortable clothes that are clean and simple. If I go to work, I wear a shirt and jeans. If I have a meeting, I wear something more formal, like a jacket. On weekends, I like to wear a t-shirt and sneakers. Now it's your turn. What do you usually wear in the morning? Do you like casual clothes or something more formal? You can also describe the colors or styles you like. For example, I like light colors because they make me feel fresh. Or, I choose my clothes the night before so I can save time in the morning. Here's another question. Do you listen to music while getting ready? Short answer, yes, I do. Longer answer, yes, I like to listen to music when I get ready. It helps me feel more awake and positive. I usually play something soft or happy while I prepare my things for the day. Now it's your turn. Do you listen to music or do you prefer silence? You can say something like, I listen to the radio while I brush my teeth, or I prefer quiet mornings because it helps me think. Try to speak naturally. Let's keep going. Do you check your phone or social media in the morning? Short answer, sometimes I do. Longer answer, sometimes I check my phone after breakfast, but I try not to spend too much time on it. I like to read the news or check the weather, but I avoid scrolling on social media in the morning because it can waste time. Now it's your turn. Do you check your phone in the morning? What do you usually look at? Do you read messages, emails, or watch short videos? Try to answer honestly in English. You can say something like, I check my phone to see the time and read messages from my friends. Or, I don't check my phone because I want to start the day without distractions. Next question. Do you prepare your bag or your things before you leave home? Short answer, yes, I do. Longer answer, yes, I always prepare my bag before I leave. I check if I have my phone, my keys, and everything I need for work. I also make sure I have some water and a snack with me. Now it's your turn. What do you prepare before leaving home? Do you pack your lunch, check your documents, or look for your headphones? Speak slowly and clearly. You can also make it longer. For example, I pack my lunch, put my laptop in my bag, and check if I have my ID card. I also like to clean my desk before I leave because I want to come back to a tidy room. Good. Let's go to the next one. What time do you usually leave home? Short answer, I usually leave home around 8. Longer answer, I usually leave home around 8 in the morning. I check the time, put on my shoes, and make sure I didn't forget anything. If I have extra time, I stop to grab a cup of coffee on the way. Now it's your turn. What time do you usually leave home? Say it out loud. You can also describe what happens before you go. For example, I say goodbye to my family, lock the door, and walk to the bus stop. Or, I check my messages before I leave, just to make sure I don't miss anything important. Let's keep going. How do you feel when you leave home in the morning? Short answer, I feel ready for the day. Longer answer, I usually feel ready and positive when I leave home. I try to take a deep breath and think about what I want to do today. Sometimes I feel a little tired, but I remind myself that every day is a new chance to do better. Now, it's your turn. How do you feel when you leave home? Try to describe your mood. Are you relaxed, sleepy, excited, or focused? Say it out loud and make it natural. You can also connect your sentences. For example, I feel relaxed because I finished all my morning tasks. Or, I feel a bit sleepy, but I'm ready to face the day. Let's review everything you practiced in this part. You learned how to talk about getting ready, choosing clothes, listening to music, checking your phone, and leaving home. These are all natural parts of your morning routine that native speakers talk about easily. Now that you've left home and you're ready for the day, Let's talk about what happens next. Your trip to work or school. This is an important part of your daily routine because it's the time when you move, think, and prepare your mind for the day ahead. Some people drive, some take the bus, some walk or ride a bike. Let's practice talking about this part of your day in natural English. Here's the first question. How do you usually get to work or school? Short answer, I take the bus. Longer answer, I usually take the bus to work. It's not very fast, but I like looking out the window and listening to music. Sometimes I check my messages or review my schedule while I'm on the bus. Now it's your turn. How do you get to work or school? Do you walk, drive, take the train, or ride a motorbike? Try to answer in your own words. You can also add more details. For example, I walk to school because it's close to my house. Or, I take the subway because it's faster than the bus. Speak naturally as if you're telling a friend. Let's move to the next question. What time do you usually leave for work or school? Short answer, I leave around 8:30. Longer answer, I usually leave home around 8:30 in the morning. If I wake up early, I leave a bit earlier. I like to have some extra time in case there's traffic or delays. Now it's your turn. What time do you leave home? You can also add what happens before you go. For example, I leave home at 8:30 after finishing my coffee. Or, I leave at 8 because my bus comes at 8:10. Let's continue. How long does it take you to get to work or school? Short answer, it takes about 20 minutes. Longer answer, it usually takes me about 20 minutes to get to work. If there's no traffic, it's fast. But sometimes it takes 30 minutes if the bus is late. I use that time to listen to podcasts or review my plans for the day. Now it's your turn. How long does it take you? Think about how you spend that time. Do you read, listen to music, or talk to someone? Say your answer slowly and clearly. You can also say something like, it takes me 15 minutes to walk to school, or it takes me about 40 minutes to drive to work. I like to listen to music while driving. Next question. What do you usually do during your commute? Short answer, I listen to music. Longer answer, I usually listen to music or a podcast while traveling to work. Sometimes I look out the window and watch people walking or the city waking up. It helps me relax before the day starts. Now it's your turn. What do you usually do on the way to work or school? Do you listen to something, talk to someone, or just enjoy the quiet? Try to answer out loud. You can also add more description. For example, I watch the sunrise from the bus window. Or, I read a few pages of a book before I arrive. Let's go to the next question. Who do you usually see in the morning on your way to work or school? Short answer, I see my neighbors. Longer answer, I usually see my neighbors when I leave home. We say good morning to each other. Sometimes I see the same people on the bus every day. It feels nice because it's part of my morning routine. Now it's your turn. Who do you see on your way to work or school? Maybe your friends, classmates, or people from your neighborhood. Try to describe it in 1 or 2 sentences. You can also say, I see my coworkers at the bus stop. Or, I meet my classmate on the way, and we walk together. Here's another question. What do you notice during your commute? Short answer, I notice the weather and people. Longer answer, during my commute, I notice the weather, the sound of cars, and people rushing to work. Sometimes I see children going to school or people walking their dogs. It makes me feel connected to the world around me. Now it's your turn. What do you notice when you travel in the morning? Try to describe what you see, hear, or feel. For example, I see the sunrise, I hear birds, or I feel the cool morning air. Let's move on. Do you enjoy your commute? Short answer: yes, I do. Longer answer: yes, I enjoy my commute because it gives me time to think and prepare for the day. I like listening to calm music or podcasts that inspire me. Sometimes I just enjoy the quiet time alone. Now, it's your turn. Do you like your commute? Why or why not? You can also say, I like it because it helps me relax. Or, I don't like it because there's too much traffic. Let's try one more question. What do you think about during your commute? Short answer: I think about my plans for the day. Longer answer: during my commute, I usually think about what I need to do at work or school. I also think about small goals, like finishing a project or having a good conversation with someone. Sometimes I think about nothing and just enjoy the moment. Now it's your turn. What do you think about while traveling? Try to answer naturally. It's okay to pause and think. For example, I think about my lessons, or I plan my day in my head. Let's review what we practiced in this chapter. You learned how to talk about your commute, how you get to work or school, how long it takes, what you do, who you see, and how you feel. These details make your English sound real and alive. Now let's put everything together into one short paragraph. Listen first, then try to repeat. I usually leave home around 8:30 and take the bus to work. It takes about 20 minutes. I like to listen to music or podcasts while traveling. Sometimes I watch people walking or the city waking up. I usually see my neighbors or people I meet every morning. The ride helps me relax and prepare for the day. Now it's your turn. Speak out loud. Tell your own story about your morning commute. Make it simple, clear, and natural. Now that you've arrived at work or school, let's talk about what happens next, the things you usually do in the morning, how you focus, and what your midday routine looks like. This part of your day is full of small actions, habits, and interactions that shape how you feel and how productive you are. So, let's practice describing your work or study routine in natural, clear English. Here's the first question. What time do you start work or school? Short answer: I start at 9. Longer answer: I usually start work at 9 in the morning. I like to arrive a few minutes early so I can organize my desk and check my schedule. That helps me feel calm and ready before everything begins. Now, it's your turn. What time do you start work or school? Do you start at 8, 9, or maybe later? Try to answer out loud. You can also add details about how you prepare before starting. For example, I arrived 10 minutes early to make coffee and check emails. Let's move to the next question. What's the first thing you do when you start your day? Short answer: I check my emails. Longer answer: when I start my day, the first thing I do is check my emails and messages. I read what's important, reply to my coworkers, and make a small to-do list for the day. Sometimes I also check my calendar to see if I have any meetings. Now it's your turn. What's the first thing you do when you begin working or studying? Do you read something, prepare materials, or talk to your classmates? Say your answer naturally. You can also say, I check my emails, open my notebook, and plan my lessons. Or, I make a list of what I need to do before lunch. Next question. How do you organize your work or study tasks? Short answer: I make a list. Longer answer: I usually make a list of the things I need to do. I start with the most important task and try to finish it first. When I complete something, I check it off. That makes me feel productive and motivated. Now it's your turn. How do you plan your day? Do you use a notebook, your phone, or just remember things in your head? Try to describe your routine. You can say something like, I write my tasks in a notebook, or I use an app on my phone to keep track of my schedule. Let's continue. Do you take breaks in the morning? Short answer: yes, I do. Longer answer: yes, I usually take a short break around 10:30. I stretch, drink some water, and rest my eyes for a few minutes. Taking small breaks helps me stay focused and not feel too tired. Now it's your turn. Do you take breaks? When do you take them, and what do you do? You can say, I take a break every hour to walk around, or I drink coffee and talk with my friends during my break. Let's keep going. How do you stay focused while working or studying? Short answer: I turn off my phone. Longer answer: I try to stay focused by turning off my phone and listening to calm background music. I also keep my desk clean and avoid multitasking. Doing one thing at a time helps me finish faster and do it better. Now it's your turn. How do you stay focused? What helps you concentrate? Try to answer out loud. You can say, I like to study in a quiet place, or I use a timer to help me focus for 30 minutes at a time. Here's another question. What do you usually do in the late morning? Short answer: I continue working. Longer answer: in the late morning, I usually continue working on my main tasks. I sometimes have short meetings or discussions with my team. I like to finish something important before lunch, so I feel productive. Now it's your turn. What do you do in the late morning? You can describe your routine. For example, I study grammar and then review vocabulary. Or, I write emails and prepare reports before lunch. Good. Let's move on to lunchtime. Question: what time do you usually have lunch? Short answer: around 12:30. Longer answer: I usually have lunch around 12:30. Sometimes I eat with my coworkers in the cafeteria. If I bring my own food, I like to eat outside when the weather is nice. Now it's your turn. What time do you have lunch? Do you eat alone or with others? Try to answer with some details. You can also say, I have lunch with my friends at school, or I eat in my office because it's quiet. Let's go to the next question. What do you usually eat for lunch? Short answer: I eat something light. Longer answer: for lunch, I usually eat something light like rice and vegetables or a sandwich. Sometimes I have soup or noodles. I don't like eating too much because it makes me sleepy. Now it's your turn. What do you eat for lunch? Say it out loud. You can add where you eat and what you like. For example, I eat salad and fruit at home. Or, I eat rice with chicken at a small restaurant near my office. Next question. Who do you usually eat lunch with? Short answer: I eat with my coworkers. Longer answer: I usually eat lunch with my coworkers. We talk about work, life, and sometimes tell jokes. It's a nice time to relax and connect with others. Now it's your turn. Who do you eat with? You can say, I eat alone because I like quiet time, or I eat with my classmates and we share food together. Let's move to another question. What do you usually do after lunch? Short answer: I take a short walk. Longer answer: after lunch, I like to take a short walk or stretch my body. It helps me feel more awake. Then I come back to my desk and continue working. Sometimes I drink tea before starting again. Now it's your turn. What do you do after lunch? Do you rest, walk, or talk to someone? Describe your routine. You can also make it more personal. I take a short walk and listen to music. Or, I read something on my phone before starting work again. Let's review everything from this chapter. You learned how to talk about your work or study routine, what time you start, how you organize your tasks, when you take breaks, and what you do for lunch. These are the details that make your English sound more natural and real. Now, let's put it all together. Listen first, then repeat. I usually start work at 9. I check my emails and make a list of what I need to do. I take a short break around 10:30, then continue working until lunch. I usually have lunch at 12:30 with my coworkers. We talk and laugh while eating. After lunch, I take a short walk, drink tea, and get ready to finish my afternoon tasks. Now it's your turn. Speak out loud and describe your own work or study routine. Make it simple and clear. Use your real habits and feelings. Now that you've finished your work or study day, let's talk about the evening, the time when you slow down, relax, and recharge. This is one of the most important parts of your daily routine because it helps your mind and body rest and prepare for tomorrow. So in this chapter, we'll practice talking about what you do after work or school, what helps you relax, and how you spend your evenings. Here's the first question. What time do you usually finish work or school? Short answer. I finish around 5. Longer answer. I usually finish work around 5 in the afternoon. Sometimes I stay a little longer if I have extra work to do, but most days I finish on time. When I'm done, I feel relieved and ready to relax. Now it's your turn. What time do you finish work or school? Say it out loud. You can also describe how you feel when you finish. For example, I finish at 6 and feel tired but happy. Or, I finish at 4 and feel free because my day is done. Let's move to the next question. What do you usually do after work or school? Short answer. I go home and relax. Longer answer. After work, I usually go straight home. I change into comfortable clothes, make some tea, and relax for a while. Sometimes I listen to music, sometimes I read, and sometimes I just sit quietly and rest. Now it's your turn. What do you do after work or school? Try to describe your routine in detail. You can say, I go home, take a shower, and play with my dog. Or, I meet my friends for dinner. Speak naturally and slowly. Next question. How do you relax after a long day? Short answer. I watch TV. Longer answer. I usually relax by watching a TV show or a movie. It helps me forget about work and enjoy my evening. Sometimes I stretch, take a walk, or listen to calm music to clear my mind. Now it's your turn. How do you relax? Do you like watching something, reading, cooking, or exercising? Try to answer in full sentences. You can also say, I like to lie on the couch and scroll through my phone. Or, I enjoy talking with my family after dinner. Here's another question. Do you exercise in the evening? Short answer. Yes, I do. Longer answer. Yes, I try to exercise in the evening a few times a week. Sometimes I go for a run in the park, sometimes I do yoga at home. It helps me feel more energetic and sleep better at night. Now, it's your turn. Do you exercise after work or school? What kind of exercise do you like? Say your answer slowly. You can say, I go jogging around my neighborhood. Or, I do some light stretching before dinner. Let's keep going. What time do you usually have dinner? Short answer. Around 7:30. Longer answer. I usually have dinner around 7:30 in the evening. Sometimes it's something simple like rice and vegetables or pasta. I like to eat slowly and enjoy the food. If I eat with my family, we talk about our day while eating. Now it's your turn. What time do you eat dinner? What do you usually eat? Do you eat alone or with someone? Try to describe it clearly. You can say, I eat dinner with my family at 7, or I eat late because I finish work late. Next question. What do you usually do after dinner? Short answer, I watch something online. Longer answer. After dinner, I usually relax on the sofa and watch something online. Sometimes I listen to podcasts or videos in English to practice listening. If I'm tired, I take a short walk outside to get some fresh air. Now it's your turn. What do you do after dinner? You can say, I clean the kitchen and then read a book. Or, I chat with my friends online for a while. Try to speak naturally. Here's another question. Do you spend time with your family or friends in the evening? Short answer. Yes, I do. Longer answer. Yes, I like to spend time with my family in the evening. We talk, share stories, or watch a movie together. Sometimes I meet my friends for coffee or dinner. It helps me feel connected and happy. Now it's your turn. Do you spend your evenings alone or with others? What do you do together? Say your answer in 1 or 2 sentences. For example, I have dinner with my parents, or I video call my best friend before going to bed. Let's move to the next question. Do you do any hobbies in the evening? Short answer. Yes, I do. Longer answer. Yes, I sometimes practice my hobbies in the evening. I like painting and listening to music. It helps me relax and be creative after a busy day. Sometimes I write in my journal to reflect on the day. Now it's your turn. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do in the evening? You can say, I play the guitar, I draw, or I study English. Speak naturally and clearly. Good. Let's talk about how you usually feel in the evening. Short answer. I feel relaxed. Longer answer. I usually feel relaxed and peaceful in the evening. My work is done, and I can finally rest. Sometimes I feel tired, but I'm also thankful for the day. I like to take time to slow down and enjoy quiet moments. Now it's your turn. How do you feel in the evening? You can say, I feel calm after dinner, or I feel sleepy after watching a movie. Let's review everything you practiced in this chapter. You learned how to talk about your evening routine, what you do after work, how you relax, what you eat, and how you feel. You also practiced describing your activities and emotions in full sentences. Now, let's combine everything into one natural paragraph. Listen first, then try to repeat. I usually finish work around 5. When I get home, I change my clothes, make some tea, and relax for a while. Sometimes I exercise or take a short walk. I have dinner around 7:30 and enjoy eating slowly. After dinner, I like to watch a movie or listen to music. I sometimes spend time with my family, or I read a book before bed. I feel relaxed and peaceful in the evening. Now it's your turn. Speak out loud and describe your own evening routine. Remember to use natural rhythm and connect your ideas smoothly. Now, let's move into the final part of your day, your night routine. This is the quiet time before bed, when you slow down, reflect, and prepare yourself for rest. The way you end your day is just as important as the way you start it. In this chapter, we'll practice describing what you do at night, how you get ready for sleep, and how you feel at the end of the day. Here's the first question. What do you usually do after dinner? Short answer. I relax and prepare for bed. Longer answer. After dinner, I usually relax for a while. Sometimes I watch a short video, talk with my family, or check my messages. I like to keep my evenings calm so I can sleep better later. Now, it's your turn. What do you do after dinner? Try to describe your typical evening step by step. You can say, I wash the dishes, watch TV, and then take a shower. Or, I spend time on my phone and listen to some music before bed. Let's move to the next question. Do you take a shower before bed? Short answer. Yes, I do. Longer answer. Yes, I like taking a shower at night. It helps me feel clean and relaxed. I usually take a warm shower, brush my teeth, and wash my face. After that, I feel ready to sleep. Now it's your turn. Do you take a shower before going to bed? Say your answer out loud. You can also talk about how it makes you feel. For example, I feel refreshed after a shower. Or, I take a shower to wash away the tiredness of the day. Next question. What do you wear when you go to bed? Short answer. I wear comfortable clothes. Longer answer. I usually wear comfortable clothes like a t-shirt and shorts or pajamas. I like soft fabrics because they make me feel relaxed. If it's cold, I wear something warm, like a sweatshirt. Now it's your turn. What do you wear when you go to bed? You can say, I wear pajamas. Or, I wear something light because it's hot where I live. Speak slowly and clearly. Here's another question. What do you do before you sleep? Short answer. I read a book. Longer answer. Before sleeping, I like to read for about 15 minutes. It helps me calm down and fall asleep more easily. Sometimes I listen to quiet music or write down my thoughts in a journal. Now it's your turn. What do you do before bed? Do you read, meditate, write, or check your phone? Try to describe your habit. You can say, I read a few pages of a book, or I write down what I'm thankful for. Let's move on. Do you check your phone before bed? Short answer. Sometimes I do. Longer answer. Sometimes I check my phone before bed, but I try not to do it too long. The light from the screen can make it hard to sleep. I usually set my alarm and then put my phone away. Now it's your turn. Do you use your phone before sleeping? What do you do on it? Try to answer naturally. For example, I check my social media for a few minutes, or I don't use my phone at night because I want to sleep better. Next question. What time do you usually go to bed? Short answer. Around 11. Longer answer. I usually go to bed around 11. If I'm very tired, I sleep earlier. But sometimes, if I'm watching something interesting, I stay up a little late. I try to sleep at the same time every night to keep a healthy routine. Now it's your turn. What time do you usually go to bed? Say it out loud. You can also add what helps you fall asleep. For example, I drink water and turn off the lights. Or, I listen to relaxing sounds before bed. Here's another question. How do you feel at the end of the day? Short answer. I feel peaceful. Longer answer. At the end of the day, I usually feel peaceful and thankful. Even if my day was busy, I remind myself of the good things that happened. Sometimes I feel tired, but I also feel proud that I did my best. Now it's your turn. How do you feel when the day ends? Do you feel tired, relaxed, or satisfied? Try to describe your feelings in a few sentences. You can say, I feel happy because I finished all my work. Or, I feel calm and ready to rest. Let's keep going. Do you plan your next day before you sleep? Short answer: yes, I do. Longer answer: yes, I like to plan my next day before I sleep. I check my schedule, write down my goals, and think about what I want to do tomorrow. It helps me feel organized and relaxed. Now it's your turn. Do you plan your next day before sleeping? You can say, I make a to-do list for tomorrow. Or, I think about what time I need to wake up. Here's one more question. What helps you sleep better at night? Short answer: listening to calm music. Longer answer: listening to calm music helps me sleep better. I also try to avoid screens and bright lights before bed. Sometimes I take deep breaths or think about something positive to relax my mind. Now it's your turn. What helps you sleep well? Try to describe it. You can say, I drink warm milk, or I turn off the lights and listen to soft music. Let's review everything you practiced in this chapter. You learned how to talk about your night routine, what you do before bed, what time you sleep, how you feel at the end of the day, and what helps you rest. These are all things you can use in real English conversations to sound natural and confident. Now, let's put everything together in one natural paragraph. Listen first, then repeat. After dinner, I relax for a while. I take a warm shower, brush my teeth, and put on comfortable clothes. Before sleeping, I read a book or listen to calm music. I usually go to bed around 11. At the end of the day, I feel peaceful and thankful. I think about what I did well and what I can do better tomorrow. Then I turn off the lights and fall asleep. Now it's your turn. Speak out loud and describe your own night routine. Imagine you're telling a friend how you end your day. Speak slowly, clearly, and naturally. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't stop here. Keep practicing with me every day to make English a natural part of your life. You can replay this episode, shadow my voice, and speak along until the words feel easy and familiar. If you want more slow, clear English lessons like this one, conversations, daily practice, and real-life speaking topics, make sure you subscribe to TalkTune English. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and join our growing community of English learners around the world. Every week, I post new lessons to help you think in English, speak naturally, and sound more confident. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Jason, and this is TalkTune English. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep believing in yourself.